Hello everybody and welcome back to Tlatoani, where last episode we finished up our city in kind of record time after we stopped being attacked every 4 seconds, so that was nice, for sure. Now we're starting up this city, and this is going to definitely have some early game challenges, there's no doubt about that. We're going to need to do some work down here. The idea for right now is that our initial outlay of food is going to come from fish. So we'll see how that ends up going. Should be interesting. We're on day 1 right now. I don't think we've even unpaused. But I want to take a look at the world map here. Okay. These guys are enemy. These guys are ally. 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 And capital. So, we do have an enemy city, and that's these lads. So that's going to be a bit of a problem for us. How defendable is this area? Well, actually, they're not going to attack from the north in any way other than over here. So they're not going to attack from this way either. So they could attack from down here. They could attack from over here, and I think this is the most likely attack vector for them. So that's definitely interesting. But we'd have to defend, like, all the way down to the sea. Okay, if we wanted to build fortifications, we'll probably just build up a force and go attack them again. So for now, let's have this not be at 6x speed. I don't think we need to be at minimum speed for right now. I don't know. Yeah, I feel like maybe like 3x is the way to go for the moment. So we'll go through at about 3x for now, and we're just building our road down over this direction. So we have access to clay, we have access to not stone, but we can grow cotton here. So that's definitely a good thing to know. We cannot grow Megui, though, so that's noted. So we've got this clay pit online, and we're going to need to get at least some housing going at some point. So this is kind of an awkward road setup here. I'm actually going to move this from being here to being like that. Okay. Yeah, we'll just do that. So common home, common home, common home, and then we actually have room for common homes like that if we do this. So something like this. That looks good. Prosperity is going to be up to 60, so that's absolutely noted. We are going to need a well dipper around here somewhere. I'm going to put in a sweeper here, I think. I'm going to put the sweeper here. And then I want to put the sentry post right here. There we go. So we'll get that going. That seems fine. We'll get some housing in here. We look like we've got some clay production happening now. So that looks good. And we're not really heading down this way. So currently we are importing maize, clay, and stone. We're producing our own clay. So let's get rid of the clay import. There we go. So that looks fine for now. No more clay import. Now we're only importing stone and maize. We're going to need to continue to import stone forever. And the maize import is probably fine for now. So I would like to get a market put up out over here. That's going to be fairly necessary. And we're going to want to have a granary out here too. I'm going to put that right here. And this granary is going to be getting maize, fruit, and do we have chili here? Yes, maize, fruit, and chili, and also fish. So we're going to be getting all of these, and I'm just going to... How many of each of these can we get? Okay, sure, that's fine. So we'll do that for now. And that will, of course, need to start coming online. But we've got a little bit of work to do here for sure. So we'll get these services going, and that all looks good. We can definitely run this road up over this way a little ways, but for now, that's fine. I would like to have this road attach out over here. We can't have it go any higher up than this, unfortunately. We can't have it be here unless we wanted to have this be spaced out awkwardly. And then I'm actually kind of thinking about moving this porter yard and then moving it again. So I'm going to put it out over here. And then we're going to move it into this corner over here. We can't move it here in one go, unfortunately. because it would be overlapping itself. So that's not an option just yet, but we'll just get that moved nice and quickly. And I'm hoping to see people come down here and start working on some of this stuff. But as of right now, they're focusing on this, which I think is reasonable. So we've got our maze up in the granary now. That'll keep us going for a little bit, but we do want to start getting some farming online. And I'm thinking about farming out in this area, out over here. So what I want to do is I want to build a road about right here, going up quite a long ways to like here. We're not necessarily going to want to do all of this right now, right? But that's going to be our horizontal road there. And then we would have a vertical road that comes out kind of like this, but we're going to need to chinampa in some places. This should actually be, we should set up our canals. So our canals want to run this direction because that would be coming from the lake here. But they don't have to, I don't think. Well, one of them would have to. Okay, now what I'm thinking about is whether we want these canals, and we could build stone canals here, but we have to import stone, so I'm just going to do regular canals for now. What we need to decide now is, do we want this essentially seed canal to come on this side, or do we want it to come on this side? I'm thinking about the implications for services. I think I want it on this side. So this is a seed canal here. We're going to be having the roads going this way, and the canals want to come this way, right? Yeah, that's the way that that's going to work. But we might actually want to have the canals go this way, because this way we can have it be fed from here and take it all the way up over here. So what that would mean would be that we'd have a set of canals that would go right here, and I'm going to take these out quite a long ways. We're not going to actually build all of this right now. Absolutely not. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then this would go right here. So then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and this would go right here. But then how are we going to do the roads? And the services? No, we have to run the canals this way. Okay, that's going to work a lot better. Don't do this. Okay, there we go. That's a lot better. So we're going to have to run the canals this direction. So what that means is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it would go right here. And then it would go all the way up to here, like that. Now, you could have the canals connect together up over here. I'm not sure there's a reason to do that, though, to be honest. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7. So then we'd have a set of canals out over here. And I want this to go down to the same level here. And we're going to have to do significant chinampas down over here. That's for sure. So this is going to be 2 rows of farms. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this is our 3rd row of farms right here. And then this is going to be services here. So that means that we're going to want to run roads like this, although we can't go all the way down here, but a road there. And then we want to run roads along the side like that, and then eventually down here as well, but we don't have chinampas for it at the moment. So then this is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 internal. And then this is going to be a 7th here. And then this is going to run down like that. So that's going to make this area a little awkward to chinampa, but that's the idea here anyway. I'm thinking about range here. Okay, we're going to run out of space here a little bit, but that's probably fine. So we'll do that there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We'll bring this up to right here. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then this guy is just going to truncate right here. It's going to be a little bit of a problem eventually. And then out over here, we're going to have a shorter line. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So that's going to go to about, well, right there. And then this area up here might have some worse irrigation. Okay. So that's noted. We're going to need to take the road out over this way like that. But we don't want to build all of this right now. Absolutely not. I'm going to halt the construction of everything past here for the moment. That's all halted. So next what we want to do is we want to start dividing this up. So the question is one of length at this point, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that means that this road would go here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we do a road here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. A road here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. A road. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This will be a road. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Mildly awkward here, but it's fine. I'm not actually that concerned about it. Is this a lake tile? It is. Okay, well, we'll have to come back to that road after that gets Chinampa'd. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So right here. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that means that we're actually going to need to extend this out into the lake a little bit. That's fine. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And the same thing right here. I'm just going to do this temporarily. I'm going to delete that, but that's just so that we have a marker here for where to put all of these at. Okay, so we'll do that, and we don't actually want to build all of this, so we'll get rid of that. And of course, we're going to want to halt this all up over here. So we'll get that halted. That looks good for now. Then we're going to need to do some Chinampas here. So yeah, just making sure that that's all correct. It is, although this here is actually one too short. Is that the case with these up here as well? It is. Okay, that's a little awkward. Well, we'll just do it this way. Absolutely fine. No, don't get rid of those marshes. We don't care about them. Completely and totally irrelevant right now. Okay, so as we expected, we know that there's going to be some Chinampa issues with this out over here. Specifically, we're going to need to run a row of Chinampas out here, and then run Chinampas up this way. But we can't do all at once, because that's too far away from our canals. So for now, I'm going to halt all of these, and we're just going to have to work on these piecemeal. Why can we not do these Chinampa? Oh, right, because they're too far away as well. That makes sense. So all of this in here needs to be Chinampa'd. That can be. And we'll get to work on that. But this up over here is probably where we're going to start our farming. So I'm going to actually halt the Chinampas here. But all of this needs to get built up. Well, maybe not necessarily the Chinampas over here, but we can get started on it anyway. So something along the lines of that. We need to get some food rolling in here, right? And we're not currently very interested in building this fish, it seems. We should probably have some housing down over here, and I'm just going to do a block of 4 houses here, and we're going to just put in a little bit of space around it. We're going to need, of course, some services down over here. So I'm going to put in a market here. I'm going to put in a well dipper somewhere around... It's going to go here. Then we're going to do a sentry post and a sweeper. Okay, so that'll do. This market should eventually be served by this granary, although not for a while. We're going to have this be accepting fish and then getting maize, fruit, and chili, and that's going to be a pretty decent number of each. Yeah, about like that. Actually, let's do this the other way. Much more fish, because we're going to have wharfs down here. Cool. So that looks good. Now we, of course, need people to actually work on these constructions. So we currently have 33 adults and 28 jobs available. So they should be fine on that front. We're starting to produce some wood, and we're starting to produce some clay. Clay Pit has nowhere to deliver their clay. Yeah, that's understood. We're actually needing to deliver it to this porter yard, and we don't have anything here. So this is going to be accepting clay and timber, and then getting stone for now. Okay, it's a little awkward because we've not actually built this up. Noted. So for the time being, I would like this to be on accepts timber, but we can't do that right now. Okay, they actually built the porter yard, so that's good. I was a little concerned about that for a moment there, but that seems fine. So now we're going to get started on getting all of this roadage built up over here. And that is, of course, going to take some time to get that underway. I'm hoping that we start to build down over here pretty soon, but nobody seems very keen on coming down this way. We probably need to put a porter yard down here eventually, and there's just not really a great place to put one other than, like, Chinampaing right here, but this is not a good spot to Chinampa, unless we wanted to canal this area temporarily. Another thing we could do is we could connect up to the road that is here, like this. Move the small market over by 1, and then put the porter yard somewhere around here. I think that's reasonable. So a porter yard down here would be getting clay, stone, and timber, and it would be something along the lines of that. Okay, so that seems fine for now. And we do need to continue work on our constructions up over here. We need to have our canals actually be receiving some irrigation, which they are not for now. They'll get there eventually. And once we have the irrigation coming up over here, my plan is to build farms this direction to buy us time for Chinampaing all of this. So we could get started on the farms, actually, up over here. And to that end, I'd like to build a granary about right here or so. We'll need another one down over here, but that'll need to be Chinampa. So for right now, that seems fine. This is going to be maize, fruit, chili, and fish. And we're going to be at 120 and then 160 for each of these. There we go. So that looks fine, and then I'm going to put a farmer's hut here, and this is going to be back to our standard farms. So this is going to be 16 units of maize, and then we're going to do fruit, 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 because they grow faster when staggered diagonally, and then we're going to do chili, like that. So we just need to start getting these online, right? That's our current priority mission, is to get this going. So 16 here, and then fruit, 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 and then chili beds. Excellent. So that's 2 farms. We can make 4 for right now, so let's go ahead and do that. We'll do a maize field here, and then 1, 2, 3. Hang on, this is not where this goes. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, and then the chili beds. Cool. And 1 final farm right down over here. We'll do our maize right over this way. There we go. And then we'll do our fruit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then the chili bed. Okay. So that'll get those started, but we should probably think about getting a porter yard up over here. The main problem, of course, is I'd like to put the porter yard about here. But that would need to be Chinampa'd. So there's that. I wouldn't mind getting started Chinampaing some of this area out over here. And of course, we're going to have to be concerned about the positioning of our clay pits. Absolutely. Speaking of concerned, we should probably build a mason yard at some point. Let's get that going. Otherwise, our buildings are going to crumble. So let's get that underway, and we'll see about getting some of this construction done. We probably need more clay pits, and here might not be a terrible spot for them. So if we were to do more clay pits, that would be about... We could do 1 here, and then 1 here, and then 1 here. About like that. Our road would be mildly awkward, but it would just be something kind of like this, and then would probably just connect it right up over here, like that. So that should reach this porter yard and get us more clay production. We can do more sawyers down over here too, and I suspect we're going to want them. So I'm going to do a sawyer. I'm actually thinking about putting a couple of sawyers down here to harvest some of this. So this would then be accepting timber, like that. Okay, so that seems relatively fine for now. We do need to get our finances under control, of course. Is this a scenic location? This is. That actually kind of works. What about up here? Okay. We'll just slot it in right here. Looks great. So with that in mind, we're definitely getting more clay pits going. So our number of jobs and our number of citizens are fairly equal right now. I would love to see this expansion down here happen, but people are just not prioritizing building that at this moment. It's probably just too far away. And that's absolutely understood. We could put in a porter yard somewhere around here. So if we extended this road over to here, and we put a porter yard here, would that be in range of this porter yard up here? Kinda. Kinda. It's highlighting it. So I'm going to claim that that's in range. So this is going to be, once again, accepting timber and then getting clay and stone. So we'll get that built with the idea being that it's going to start moving some resources down this way. And then I'm going to put this porter yard up here like that. So that'll be in range of this one. And that'll just kind of jumpstart our construction down over here. So that looks good. Our armed forces are not adequate to deter our enemies. Yes, I'm not surprised about that. Deeply, deeply unsurprising that. So that's absolutely fine for now. We've got this porter yard built, and that seems great. We're probably going to need more timber production up over here. For the time being, I'm just going to put in one sawyer about... Actually, I'm going to do two. I'm going to extend this road down to here. I'm going to put in both of the sawyers on this side of the road. So I want them to ideally be harvesting down here, but we'll get a couple more sawyers going. That should be decent for our timber production. So that's absolutely fine for now, and hopefully we'll be able to start getting some production going down here. That's the idea, anyway. Crowding in homes is becoming a problem. Yeah, I have plans for additional houses to go in about here, and let's just do that right now. So I'm going to do a block of 8 homes right there, and we're just going to move that right on over. Looks perfect. So that'll be fine for now. That'll all get these services, right? Not this sentry post. Okay, so that sentry post is a little out of range. We can put in another sentry post maybe here or maybe just here, and we'll do that for now. So that looks good. We're not really exporting anything at this moment, and we can see our finances are definitely being drained by these imports. That is not terribly surprising. We've got a lot of construction that needs to happen here. But we are starting to get some construction done down over this way. That is good. I'd like to see more happen. But for the moment, this is fine. Enemies are on the march. They're expected to arrive within 4 months from the northeast. So, I mean, they're going to be coming from this direction, which we expect. But we've got a fortress right now. And that's all well and good. But we may want to consider building a barracks, and I'm going to build it right here. It's a kind of awkward size for our block size that's in this area, but let's get that going. And that's going to require quite a lot of resources, absolutely, but we do have a good chunk of them anyway. I don't know if that's going to be done. Actually, we put all of the stone into it already. So that's going to be done before they arrive. We're probably going to need some nobles, so let's get a noble compound in about right here. And then we can just take this road over like this. And the nobles will hopefully be the captain there. Or the 2 captains. So that's underway, and eventually that attack will come. But for right now, it is time to put a cut in here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we're going to try to get some of our food production online up over here. I think our food is going to be a lot safer than it was last time, which is a very big deal. Because they're going to be attacking this way. We could put in like walls here to try to funnel them, but we'll see. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Dark Horse, Ethan Feldman, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, The Lounge STL, Rornaz, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.